Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging headfirst into a world right under our noses, one brimming with hidden magic and the most incredible transformations.
It's a world many of us know, but there's always more beneath the surface.
Exactly. Our mission for this deep dive, to unpack the opening chapters of a story about a boy who seemed utterly ordinary, only to discover he's anything but.
Right. We're talking Harry Potter's early life, that first electrifying taste of the wizarding world.
And the dangerous secrets unfolding around him. We really want to pull out those, important nuggets of knowledge that are so easy to overlook. So let's get into it.
It's such a fascinating journey, isn't it? Going from the utterly mundane to the fantastically mysterious. And what stands out immediately is, well, how jarring that transition is, particularly when you start with the Dursleys.
Oh, the Dursleys. They're the absolute epitome of normal, aren't they? I mean, right from the start, we meet Mr. and Mrs. Dursley at number 4, Privet Drive, who are just obsessed with being perfectly normal. They practically fear anything strange or different.
Yeah, totally. You've got Mr. Dursley, kind of imposing, very fat, short neck, huge mustache.
Right. And Mrs. Dursley, thin, blonde, and that famously long neck.
Perfect for spying on the neighbors.
Exactly. Gossiping. And then, of course, there's Dudley, their perfect son.
Well, what's truly striking here isn't just how quirky they are, but how their whole existence is this deliberate, really rigid rejection of anything outside their narrow view of normality.
Yeah.
Their desire for a surprise-free life is basically a shield, isn't it? A shield against a secret they are desperate to bury.
Which becomes clear pretty quickly.
Yeah, when we learn Mrs. Dursley has a sister, Mrs. Potter, whom she pretends doesn't exist. Why? Because the Potters are very strange and very different. It's like an almost comical level of denial.
It really is. And then, on what seems like a totally ordinary Tuesday, the cracks just start to show. Can you imagine Mr. Dursley's face seeing a cat apparently reading a map?
Haha, yeah. What does that first bizarre incident immediately tell us about the world Harry's about to step into?
Well, it tells us the ordinary world is completely unprepared for the extraordinary, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Then he starts seeing people dressed in these bright, colorful cloaks, not just appearing, but like excitedly talking about the Potters and Harry, their son.
And Dumbledore even calls Mr. Dursley a muggle.
Right? A term for non-magic folk. So casually, it just underscores how oblivious this mundane world is to the magical one operating right alongside it.
And the news reports start coming in. Owls flying during the day, thousands of shooting stars.
That's like reality itself is kind of fraying at the edges. The magic is leaking out.
It's like the magical world simply couldn't contain its joy anymore.
Yeah.
And all this builds up to Harry's, well, dramatic arrival. Dumbledore appears on Privet Drive.
Right.
And that put-outer he uses to extinguish the streetlights. Such a delightful detail. It immediately establishes this practical yet, whimsical magic.
It does. And Professor McGonagall, who is the cat.
The cat reading the map.
Yeah. She transforms back, and they have this hushed, urgent conversation about how completely unsuitable the Dursleys are.
They really don't seem like the ideal guardians.
Not at all. And this scene is absolutely pivotal. It's here that the core mystery and the stakes of the whole story are laid out.
We learn what really happened.
Exactly. Lily and James Potter were killed by Voldemort, you know who, as they call him, who then tried to kill baby Harry but failed. He actually lost his own powers in the process.
And Harry's lightning bolt scar isn't just a mark.
No, it's a symbol of this impossible survival. Dumbledore's decision to leave Harry with the Dursleys, though it seems harsh, is this deliberate, maybe flawed attempt to give him a normal childhood.
Which ironically only highlights how profoundly abnormal his true destiny is.
Precisely. And what a normal childhood it turns out to be.
Right. We jump forward 10 years.
Yeah.
And Harry is living through a decade of sheer neglect. He's stuck in a dark, small cupboard under the stairs, always wearing Dudley's old, oversized clothes. He's described as small and thin, black hair, bright green eyes, round glasses mended with tape, and of course that mysterious lightning scar.
And the Dursleys enforce this strict don't ask questions rule, lying to him that his parents died in a car accident.
Such a cold way to handle it.
It's a heartbreaking picture of childhood deprivation, really, but what's truly remarkable is how Harry's inherent magic just refuses to be suppressed.
Yeah, despite their best efforts, accidental magic keeps bubbling up.
We hear about his hair growing back instantly after a terrible haircut, or him somehow appearing on a school roof to escape Dudley.
Right. And the incident at the zoo. That's a big one.
Oh, definitely. Harry conversing with a boa constrictor, and then the glass of its enclosure just vanishes.
Allowing the snake to escape with a whispered, obrigado, amigo,
Yeah.
which means thanks, friend, in Portuguese, interestingly.
Right. It isn't just a moment of, like, rebellious magic. It's a clear signal that the true world he belongs to is calling out to him, even if it earned him a long time locked in his cupboard.
And that call soon becomes, well, impossible to ignore. Then the flood of letters begins.
Ah, the letters.
They arrive addressed with this almost comical precision. Mr. H. Potter, The Cupboard Under the Stairs, 4 Privet Drive, Little Whinging, Surrey.
So specific. And they're distinctive too, right? That emerald green ink.
And the purple wax seal with the 4 animal symbols, a lion, eagle, badger, snake around a large H.
The Hogwarts crest. And the Dursleys' increasingly desperate, frantic, and frankly hilarious attempts to stop Harry from getting one.
Blocking the mail slot, nailing it shut, burning the letters.
It really shows how terrified they are of this truth escaping. Their whole normal world is under siege.
And that fear culminates in their incredible, almost absurd scene where hundreds of letters burst from the chimney like a magical paper-filled cannon.
It's the universe itself just demanding Harry's attention. This escalating chaos forces the Dursleys to flee, abandoning their perfectly normal life,
Running away.
ending up in this remote, storm-battered hut on a rock in the middle of the sea. This isolation brilliantly sets the stage for the real turning point.
Which arrives, of course, dramatically at midnight on Harry's 11th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Who else but Hagrid, this giant of a man,
Mm-hmm.
breaks down the hut door, presents Harry with a slightly squashed birthday cake.
Which is still such a touching gesture.
It is. And then delivers the shocking truth. Harry is a wizard, accepted to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And the Dursleys knew all along and hid it from him. What a bombshell.
It's the ultimate aha moment, isn't it? Not only does Harry learn about his true identity, but Hagrid also explains muggles that term again, non-magic folk, and even accidentally gives Dudley a pig's tail.
A perfect bit of poetic justice for all his years of bullying.
Totally. Then Petunia just resentfully confirms her sister Lily was a witch, finally pulling back the curtain on the true dark story of Harry's parents' murder by Voldemort and Harry's miraculous survival.
Everything he thought he knew. Gone.
Completely overturned in that single conversation.
So with his eyes now wide open to this incredible new reality, Harry takes his very first trip into the magical world with Hagrid.
Diagon Alley.
First stop, Gringotts, the goblin-run wizard bank. And Harry discovers his parents left him a vast fortune.
Which must have been just mind-blowing after a decade of Dudley's cast-offs.
Absolutely. And Hagrid also retrieves that mysterious small package from Vault 713 for Dumbledore. A detail that feels hugely significant later on.
It definitely plants a seed. But this whole trip to Diagon Alley isn't just about, getting school supplies. It's his real awakening.
Yeah, it's described as this bursting, vibrant, wonder-filled place. A total sensory overload of fantastical shops selling everything from wands to cauldrons.
He even meets Professor Quirrell at the Leaky Cauldron, who teaches defense against the dark arts and seems quite nervous, stutters a lot.
And wears that turban.
Yeah.
It's Harry's first real glimpse of the society he's been hidden from.
And the wand shop, Ollivander's, that's particularly resonant, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Ollivander explains that the wand chooses the wizard, which is such a lovely inversion of expectation.
It is. But then Harry's wand is revealed to be brother to Voldemort's wand, sharing a core from the same phoenix.
Wow.
Ollivander's chilling memory of selling Voldemort's wand adds this deep layer of foreboding to Harry's destiny, tying him immediately and intrinsically to his enemy.
And of course, he gets his snowy owl, Hedwig.
Who becomes this instant faithful companion, such an important figure for him. That wand choice, though, it's a really powerful narrative device. It forges this immediate, inescapable connection between Harry and Voldemort even before they meet.
Right. So after all that, Harry finally departs from the Dursleys, which must have been an immense relief. We see his initial struggle to find platform 934 at King's Cross Station.
Classic newbie confusion.
Only to stumble upon it, thankfully, through the wonderfully helpful and boisterous Weasley family.
Such a great introduction to them, and that sets up so much. On the train, he quickly meets Ron Weasley.
Instantly relatable, right? Hand-me-down clothes, red hair, freckles, his sleepy pet rat, Scabbers.
And shortly after, Hermione Granger bursts into their compartment. Bossy, incredibly knowledgeable, and initially quite irritating to Ron.
What a perfect dynamic for a trio, though, right from the start. But the train journey also introduces a more sinister figure. Draco Malfoy.
Ah, yes, Malfoy.
Their early, tense confrontation immediately establishes Malfoy's antagonistic nature. and his instant insults towards Ron, his family's lack of wealth, and even towards Hagrid.
It's a masterclass in introducing core characters and their relationships straight away. The journey itself culminates in that truly scenic trip across the Dark Lake.
Revealing the magnificent Hogwarts castle in the distance. That sight must have felt like an absolute dream after Harry's life with the Dursleys.
You bet. And then, the sorting ceremony in the Great Hall, lit by thousands of floating candles. Professor McGonagall explains the four houses, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin their values, and the whole House Cup competition.
And the Sorting Hat. It sings this song that really encapsulates each house's essence, but it's Harry's reaction to it that truly stands out.
His internal plea.
Yeah, his intense fear of being put in Slytherin, whispering, "Not Slytherin, not Slytherin," leads the hat to place him in Gryffindor, marked by the loudest cheer in the hall.
It's such a defining moment. It's where his character begins to assert his own choice, even against what the hat itself seemed to think might be a good fit.
Absolutely. It hints at that theme of choice versus destiny, which becomes so crucial later on.
Definitely. After the sorting, Harry gets his first proper look at Snape, whose, pointed nose and dark hair seem to pierce Harry's gaze.
And causes that sudden, sharp, burning pain in his scar. That's significant.
Very. And then Dumbledore's opening speech, this curious string of words, nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak, is followed by these cryptic warnings about the Forbidden Forest and a specific third-floor corridor.
So it's clear that even in this wonderful new magical world, danger is definitely lurking.
Right under the surface. So daily life at Hogwarts begins. And what's fascinating is how just navigating the castle itself becomes part of the learning curve, with its moving staircases and talking portraits.
Sounds like a nightmare to get around. And the class is very wildly. Strict transfiguration with McGonagall, which sounds incredibly challenging, versus the almost ridiculous defense against the dark arts with Professor Quirrell, who apparently even smells faintly of garlic.
Yeah, the everyday magic is just woven into the setting itself. But it's Snape's potions class that truly stands out initially.
Oh, yeah. He immediately, relentlessly targets and demeans Harry, deducting points from Gryffindor for, perceived slights, even for Harry not knowing answers he couldn't possibly know yet.
This early antagonism immediately sets Snape up as the kind of main mystery or antagonist in Harry's mind, and by extension, in ours as readers or listeners.
Makes sense. Amidst all this, Harry finds some comfort visiting Hagrid's hut, but he also uncovers a crucial clue there.
Right, a newspaper clipping.
A Daily Prophet article about a Gringotts break-in on July 31st, Harry's birthday, the day they were in Diagon Alley, specifically in Vault 713.
The very vault Hagrid took that little package from.
Exactly. Harry instantly connects this to the mysterious package Hagrid retrieved for Dumbledore. The pieces of the puzzle are definitely starting to connect.
Slowly but surely. Then, during his very first flying lesson, Harry discovers this natural, incredible talent for flying. He just takes to it.
Yeah, he immediately distinguishes himself and gets recruited as Gryffindor's new seeker for Quidditch, the youngest in the century. It's a huge moment of self-discovery for him.
It is. But this very talent leads to more conflict when Malfoy challenges Harry to a midnight wizard's duel.
Which turns out to be a classic Malfoy trap, of course.
Naturally. The trio, now including Neville Longbottom, who'd lost his toad Trevor again.
Or Neville.
They narrowly escape Filch the caretaker and his creaky cat, Mrs. Norris. But in their flight, they stumble into that forbidden third-floor corridor.
The one Dumbledore warned them about.
Exactly. And they come face to face with Fluffy, a gigantic, terrifying, three-headed dog guarding a trapdoor.
Whoa. That's their first real encounter with the dark, mysterious forces at play inside the castle, and it sounds truly terrifying.
Definitely ups the stakes. And then on Halloween, we get that thrilling confrontation with the mountain troll.
Right. Quirrell bursts into the Great Hall, yelling about a troll in the dungeons, then dramatically collapses. Chaos ensues.
Total panic. But Harry and Ron, remembering Hermione is off by herself, probably crying in the girls' bathroom after Ron upset her earlier.
Oh, yeah.
They bravely divert from the evacuation route to warn her. Their quick thinking saves the day.
How? What did they do?
Well, Harry actually jumps on the troll's back and shoves his wand right up its nose.
Ugh. Gross, but effective.
Apparently. While Ron, remembering the spell Hermione had been drilling him on, successfully uses Wingardium Leviosa to levitate the troll's own club and knock it out cold.
Team.
Exactly. And it's not just a heroic act. It's the moment their friendship truly solidifies. Hermione's courageous lie to Professor McGonagall afterwards, taking the blame to save them from punishment.
That's the glue, isn't it? that binds them into this really unbreakable trio.
Absolutely. Soon after, during the first Quidditch match against Slytherin, Harry notices Snape has a bleeding leg.
Interesting.
And he overhears Snape muttering something about being bitten by something with 3 heads. This just reinforces Harry's suspicions that Snape is trying to get past Fluffy.
And then Snape surprisingly takes on the role of referee for the match, which leads Harry to fear he's going to try and harm him during the game.
A perfectly reasonable fear given Snape's behavior, and he almost does, or seems to. During the game, Harry's broomstick inexplicably malfunctions, jerking wildly, nearly throwing him off hundreds of feet in the air.
Terrifying.
But Hermione, ever the astute observer, uses Hagrid's binoculars and notices Snape down in the stands, staring intently at Harry and subtly muttering under his breath.
She thinks he's cursing the broom.
She concludes he is casting a dark curse on Harry's broom. Talk about quick thinking and quick action.
We should do.
Hermione's decisive move is to create a diversion. She sneaks over, sets Snape's robes on fire.
Whoa, bold move.
It breaks his concentration or eye contact, whatever was needed. Harry regains control of his broom, spots the golden snitch, and wins the game for Gryffindor by catching it in his mouth.
Huh. An unconventional but brilliant move. Swallowing the snitch.
Indeed. After the match, Hagrid, completely inadvertently, lets slip to the trio that Fluffy, the 3-headed dog, is his dog.
Hagrid's.
Yep. And that Fluffy is guarding something important for Dumbledore and a certain Nicholas Flamel.
Nicholas Flamel. That name becomes the key, doesn't it? Finally linking all these strange pieces together.
That's the breakthrough. The trio then embarks on this tireless search, mainly in the library, for any information about Nicholas Flamel, suspecting a deep connection to whatever Fluffy is guarding.
And during this time, Harry gets a mysterious gift at Christmas. An invisibility cloak.
Which is amazing, and it comes with an unsigned note stating it belonged to his father.
Another connection to his past.
Exactly. He daringly uses it to venture into the restricted section of the library at night, looking for Flamel, where he's scared off by a screaming book and narrowly avoids Filch and, crucially, Snape, who seems to be lurking there too.
That cloak isn't just a cool gadget, though. It's another significant heirloom, right? Connecting Harry directly to his parents and maybe their adventurous spirit.
Definitely. His solo venture into the restricted section highlights his growing courage and determination to uncover the truth, pushing him towards, forbidden knowledge.
Later, while hiding from Filch again, Harry stumbles upon the enchanted mirror of Arised in an unused classroom.
Ah, the Mirror of Arise. Such a fascinating object. Its inscription, Arise stra eru oit ube kafru oit onwost, read backward.
I show not your face, but your heart's desire.
Precisely. And what it shows Harry is incredibly profound and sad. He sees his entire deceased family, his parents standing beside him, his mother having his eyes, his father looking just like him.
Wow. Must have been overwhelming.
Completely. And it shows Ron Weasley himself as head boy and Quidditch captain, holding prestigious cups, fulfilling his deepest desire for recognition beyond his many successful older brothers.
It reveals so much about them.
It does. Dumbledore later finds Harry there and provides this truly profound explanation of the mirror's magic. It shows nothing more or less than the deepest and most desperate desires of our hearts.
He sternly warns Harry not to become obsessed with it, not to waste away in front of it, consumed by its illusions. It's a powerful lesson about longing versus reality.
A very important one. That mirror serves as this beautiful psychological device, forcing the characters, and by extension, us, the audience, to confront their deepest inner longings.
So how do they finally figure out who Flamel is?
Well, the actual breakthrough comes almost by accident. Ron gives Harry a Dumbledore chocolate frog card.
Like a trading card?
Yeah, exactly. And the back of the card mentions Dumbledore's notable work on alchemy with his partner, Nicholas Flamel. Hermione, with her incredible research skills and memory, immediately connects the name and finds Flamel in this huge old book, revealing him as the only known creator of the Philosopher's Stone.
The Philosopher's Stone. So that's what Fluffy's guarding.
That's their conclusion. And here's where it gets really interesting. This stone has extraordinary properties. It can turn any metal into pure gold.
Okay.
And it produces the elixir of life, which grants immortality.
Immortality and infinite wealth. No wonder someone might want to steal it.
Exactly. The trio triumphantly realizes that Fluffy must be guarding the Philosopher's Stone, and they are still utterly convinced that Snape is the one attempting to steal it for its immense power. Likely for Voldemort.
It all seems to point to Snape. This builds to the final Quidditch game against Hufflepuff, actually, where Harry is just relieved that Dumbledore is present in the stands, believing his presence will deter Snape from trying anything.
A bit of a security blanket there. And in a particularly touching moment around this time, Neville Longbottom makes this brave stand against Malfoy and his cronies, trying to stop Harry, Ron, and Hermione sneaking out.
Even though he's scared.
Yeah, he declares that he might lack brains compared to Hermione or courage compared to Harry, but he has true friends and he'll stand up for them, or stand up to them. It really highlights the powerful bonds forged among the Gryffindors, especially Neville's own growth.
That's great. It's a perfect culmination, isn't it? All the threads of the mystery are starting to come together.
Yeah.
The stone, Voldemort's potential return, Harry's parents' sacrifice, Snape's suspicious actions.
The stage is absolutely set for a confrontation, driven by the pursuit of this incredibly powerful, life-altering artifact.
So let's pause there. What does this all mean for you, listening in? We've taken this deep dive into how a seemingly ordinary boy's life was completely overturned by the arrival of magic, leading him to a school of wonders, profound friendships, and a very dangerous secret. It all connects back to a powerful, mysterious artifact and the dark forces that inevitably seek it.
It truly does. And think about this. Harry's journey really begins with hidden truths and, you could say, forbidden knowledge that the Dursleys desperately tried to bury. He discovers who he is by actively uncovering these secrets, not by simply being handed the answers.
Right. Then he learns about the Philosopher's Stone, this object whose secrets grant, essentially, ultimate power, life, and wealth.
Which raises an important question for all of us, maybe. Is true understanding really about being given the answers, or is it more about the relentless pursuit of questions, even when those answers might lead to dangerous places?
That's a deep thought. What does it truly mean to be well-informed in a world where, let's face it, some truths are intentionally concealed? And how do we choose to engage with those hidden depths of reality around us?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other truths might be lurking just beneath the surface of the world you think you know?